What's up, my friends? I got a couple of videos coming out of my cruise. Just kind of me going on a cruise, I guess. And enjoyed it. It was cool. I'll be back out. I'll be on the Carnival Vista in January. So I will be at least, unless somebody decides to go hang with me. I don't care if they do, they don't. I'm going. That's what's up there. And I know I posted a video about the check your temperature in your shower. Of course, everybody's going, that's common sense. I'm like, of course it's common sense, but you would be surprised with people, you know? You always get your keyboard warriors. They have to chime in like you did that wrong, or how dare you, or that was stupid. I'm like, maybe to you, but to some, you might not think that it's not like your home showers where you know to check it, but you get a clear indicator. Don't assume it's cold, you know, thing. But anyway, I digress on that. What I want to do is want to get on and talk about, I got quickly reminded here, excuse my stand here, I got quickly reminded here this morning of, and it's been a long time, and I've heard of instances and things happening in some of these ports that you get off on. I've heard it happens in Jamaica a lot. It's very dangerous sometimes. But Nassau, folks, they know there's 10 or 12. There were about 9 ships with us the other day. And it's dangerous, folks. I mean, whether you like to hear that or not. I'm not trying to scare you from going to see Nassau, but it's just, if you've been to Nassau, you know what I'm talking about. I said this in the video. You'll see that I talk about whatever you do, they warn you. And a lot of places like Nassau and stuff, don't rent mopeds and ATVs. And don't rent cars. If you've ridden in a cab in Nassau, you wouldn't want to drive. Oh, hell no. It's dangerous. It really is. A couple things happened that I found. Usually we don't find out. I knew somebody got left, and they were rolling somebody's suitcase and some paperwork. And then something happened to 2 others where they made it back to the ship, but I didn't see or hear more, but it happened. It was bad. One individual rented an ATV. That's all they said, was an ATV, and got hit by a van. Car hit him. Don't know how bad it was, but enough to take him to the hospital. Just hope they're okay. But the problem you have is that, one, the insurance factor of it and holding somebody liable. But number 2, hospital medical costs. Not knowing whether your insurance will cover hospitals in Nassau or not. I don't know. It just depends. I don't ever want to be in that situation. But if you've ever learned about the healthcare situation there in Nassau, it's not good. There's 2 hospitals. One either they call it Doctor's Hospital or the People's Hospital, and it's for indigent people, and they say, God forbid you have to go there. And then there's one with people who may have money. I don't know the difference, but it's one of those things you better be thankful to God you live in the United States. And if you don't, maybe you live in a country where your health care is good and it's okay, But the thing is when you get into these places, these things can happen. And the ship won't wait for you. This is why they talk about go on a ship-sponsored excursion and just don't walk off in alleyways and corners and places that are off the beaten path. You'll see in my video that they built a whole new pavilion. They had to, and expanded the port for the cruise ships. It looks good, but 2 guys on the ship must have wandered somewhere. Something happened. They got robbed, and one of them got stabbed, and the other got beat up. And it happened. People posted on the Facebook group of the ship said they saw him, and they said it was horrific what they saw. It was so much blood, and they were running. They told them, the security, we don't have time to make a police report. We got to go. We got to get to the ship or it's going to leave us. Let the ship's medical team help us. And I do hope they're okay. Someone asked, were they on our ship? There were 3 Carnival ships. That they couldn't clarify. They could have been on another Carnival ship. I don't know. I didn't see any guys that were bandaged up. I didn't see anything. But you get guys that, they said, well, they had blue cards. If they had blue cards, which means, I think if the red is the first cruise and blue is maybe second, I don't know. But some people just don't think that there are some places that you have got to be careful, go in groups, or even if you go in groups, just be careful. But I don't want to scare you. If you haven't never cruised, just be careful when you go to these port places. Listen to the cruise ships, they know. If you're going to take an excursion, just pay the money. Nassau's notorious. I said it once, I say it again. It's one of the most notorious places to miss your ship. Because they have all these guys stand up front and go, hey, we got this tour of the city. Come with us. Come on. Oh, yeah, we get you back to the ship. And they're late. And there were other instances. When you see the other videos, I'll talk about there was a married couple years ago on the ship I was on out of Charleston here that missed the boat. Newlywed couple just got married on their honeymoon. Thought they'd go rent a Jeep in Nassau and take that baby out to the beach and said, let's drive it out on the beach for memories we'll never forget for a lifetime. And definitely it was a memory that I bet they haven't forgotten to date, because the Jeep sank in the beach and they never got it out. One, they're reliable for that Jeep. Not sure if their insurance company covered it. When you so-called buy insurance in another country, you don't know how valid it is. You don't know what you signed unless you read it. And they missed the ship. Ship's agent had to get them a plane ticket. They had to pay for it, of course. Fly them back home, either to home port or home, and their stuff was sent back to them. You don't want to be in a situation like that. I sure as hell don't. I've been on cruises where I've seen people running for the ship and the ship was leaving, gone. We were in Hawaii twice. They waited on them. One, they shouldn't have waited, but they did. Two, the only reason they waited because they were with a crew member on the ship. And that crew member more than likely got in trouble because crew members can't be late. And if they're late more than once, they're fired, their stuff's packed, and on the next stop, they're flown home. They're done with Carnival. Carnival doesn't mess around with that because the longer they're at that port, it costs them money. It's port fees and taxes. And they'll tell you that, and there's a lot of other reasons. They're scheduling and trying to get where they got to go. But guys, just be very careful when you go to some of these ports. You know, I know some people want to chime in and go, well, that's common sense. You would be surprised. Say common sense all you want, but it happens more than you hear about and more than you know. I'm telling you, man. Those two things happened on the cruise I was just on in Nassau. A lot of you have been to Nassau. You know what I'm talking about. Listen, I rode a cab. My ex-girlfriend and I were down there one year. Rode a cab down to a restaurant at the end, way past the Senior Frogs. That whole pavilion's changed. We took a cab, winds around, and we went and ate at a restaurant. It wasn't bad, but we realized we walked back up on a sidewalk up to the boat. We walked home. We were not getting back in another cab ever in damn Nassau. That shit was horrible. Some of these places that drive crazy, they don't have traffic lights and stop signs, speed limits or anything. You know, it's the roughest ride because the streets are almost like brick or cobblestone. But just, you know, take mine and many others' word for it. You're going to see, I bet you, there's other YouTube videos, people talking about some of these ports. I was in St. Kitts with some friends one year. St. Kitts was a stop for a cruise on the Sunshine. We walked in, everything was closed up on one end down these streets, and there was a little area. I wasn't going down those streets. We didn't feel safe. We were like, unless we were on excursion, we didn't even want to take a cab somewhere, not knowing where we were going, whether we were going to make it back to the boat. So we just hung out around the pavilion. It didn't look really appealing at all, so it happens. But anyway, I didn't want to make this too long. Just want to chime in and say, you got to be careful with these ports, folks, and just kind of think. Don't walk down alleyways and streets. If you see my video, I was in Ensenada, Mexico, coming back on my Hawaiian cruise last year, or earlier this year in January. I was talking about some of these streets that look real. I turned around and walked back up, and I just went back to the boat. Just didn't look safe at all. You're not in America, folks. And even in America, you got some streets that are rough right here on your home turf. So anyway, we'll see you on the next one. I appreciate you for watching. Be cool. Bye.